Lima, you said we are underrating Myles Garrett some way, somehow. Go ahead. Let's hear it. Let's hear why.
I understand your point. I don't even really argue with your point because we have said the same things about Myles, not really a leadership guy, a front and center leadership guy. He might be more of a lead by example. It's not like he didn't work with some of the younger guys. I mean, we would point that out when it happened. But there's so much more to that. They're pretty clearly later in his career with the Browns on losing teams, that was not going to be Myles Garrett's MO. Some guys just aren't really that guy. And so I understood your point that Jared Verse comes in and is leading immediately. And they need somebody that can do that. And so I was with you there. When I hear, in Aditi, I asked the question and she's like, why would they be thinking about Myles Garrett? Because Myles Garrett made life easier on every other player on the field. Also made life easier on Jim Schwartz, made life easier on Kevin Stefanski, made life easier on Andrew Berry, made life easier on everybody. I mean, go back and watch those Pittsburgh games at the end, the Cincinnati game at the end of the year. The Pittsburgh game, he single-handedly won the game because Aaron Rodgers was terrified. That wouldn't have happened. They wouldn't have won that game if they had Jared Verse. It just wouldn't have happened.
Well, yeah, but I had plenty of people in my mention saying if we didn't have Myles Garrett on that team last year, we would have been able to get Fernando Mendoza.
Well,
because then Aaron Rodgers would have just lined up and beat us. So
Anthony,
who's holding us back?
You kept saying made life easier, and you listed all these things. Yeah. That was on the football field, and nobody has mentioned the on the football field with this.
Bingo.
I'm sure that when they were answering to the speeding questions and answering to the flip Porsche questions and answering to the trade request questions, that did not make their lives easier.
You're right.
But on the football field, on game days, they don't win.
No one's talking about that. Lawrence Taylor didn't get suspended for things he did on the football field.
Nobody cares about the football field anymore. Have you not got that? That's why they keep on bringing up this Jared Verse is the greatest leader that we've ever had thing.
Thank you. Because we weren't winning any games with him on the field. That's the whole point of this whole...
But I'm hearing you and Aditi.
That's the whole point of this trade.
I'm hearing you and Aditi talk about all these off the field things that you're getting out of Jared Verse. But what I'm not hearing from you guys, what I'm not hearing about you guys is how's the defense going to be this year?
Probably not as good as what it was last year.
That's all I'm saying.
Because they're not as deep as what they were last year. And MJ Emerson's already having a good start to his season with the New Orleans Saints. But let me tell you where you're wrong.
That's a totally different point. We're not talking about depth here. I'm saying you don't have a transcendent.
You asked me.
I'm saying you don't have a transcendent superstar defensive player.
And we won 5 games.
I realize that. So why do you think we're going to win 5 or 6 this year?
I didn't say.
Why does the afternoon show think we're going to win 10?
I can't speak for the afternoon show and how many games that they think.
Why does Booger McFarland say we're going to be the surprise team?
Because he doesn't know his ass from a hole in the ground. And if it actually happens, I'll tell you this. If it happens, I was going to tease it for later. Go ahead and play the Booger McFarland. Because if you watch any of the preseason game on Saturday, you know how far away this team is. But if this team makes the playoffs, like Booger McFarland says, give Andrew Berry a lifetime contract because this is the greatest trade that you've ever made. You've made the best trade and the worst trade somehow in NFL history. Hit it.
I think the Browns could be the surprise of the AFC. I think Watson's going to wind up being better than people think.
He was legitimately a top 5 quarterback in the NFL when he was in Houston.
Legit top 5. I'll never forget watching him in the post-game press conference when a reporter asked him a question about some coverage, and he detailed the coverage like Peyton Manning does on Monday night on the Manning cast. Like he was talking about the safety and cover 3 and all this. And I'm like, man, that dude is on it. We all know his ability to run. I just remember the Deshaun Watson at Clemson, man. Like he used to will his team to win. Now, I know there's a lot that's transpired since then, but man, sometimes you can turn back the hands of time. I hope he turns back the hands of time, if not for this season, just for a moment where people like us who talk have to come on this microphone and say, man, Deshaun Watson, not bad.
Do I even need to say anything there to that? Do I even need to address any of that?
Yeah, respond to the points.
I remember Art Schlichter at Ohio State. Maybe he can come back. I know a lot of things have happened in between Ohio State and now with Art Schlichter, but maybe he can come back and do it. For the love of God. Where was that audio courtesy of, by the way? Pardon my take. There you go. Want to give proper credit where it's due. And it's not that he doesn't know his ass from a hole in the ground, but I'm sorry. If you watched any bit of the second half, you go, oh, my God, there's nobody out here in our secondary that has any experience whatsoever. Like, this is not going to be an easy season. It's not going to be an easy season. Now, I think because your schedule ain't that great, you can win 5 or 6 games. I'm going to say 6. All right, I'm going to say 6. And I do think that you should be able to, with Denzel Boston and KC Concepcion, be able to run the ball a little bit better. You still only have one tight end. That's going to struggle. And because I want to say that you have these weapons, you're going to be able to run the ball a little bit better. Well, I don't know. Judging based on Saturday, didn't look like the offensive line was too cohesive, but that was their first time out. So I'm going to say they win 5 or 6 games. I'm going to stick with 6. And you know what? They'll probably win less than that, because that's just insane. So the whole point of the argument about the Myles Garrett thing that we were just saying is that you weren't winning a lot of games as it was. And what Owen was saying was right, is that it's tough to build the culture when you have to beg the greatest player to get involved to help build the culture. And he flirted with that idea, but he was never sold on it. Jared Verse, unless he's the greatest liar I've ever met, and I've only shaken his hand once, and he didn't seem like a liar, unless he's the greatest liar who's ever met, he's already better in that department. He's already better in that department.
Yeah, but how important is that department when they're going up against Aaron Rodgers in a game where he's so terrified of Myles Garrett and where he's lined up on every play that it completely restricts anything that he can do on the football field.
You know why it ain't that important? Because they still need a quarterback, and that's why they made the damn trade. Because in the grand scheme of things, only guys like you and me, when we're bickering with each other, we'll remember that Aaron Rodgers was terrified to get sacked so he could set the record. So that's how we won that game. But in the grand scheme of things, it ain't going to make a damn bit of difference, because they need somebody to help them win, because nobody cares about that, because you only win 5 games a season, even with them.
Well, Mike Tomlin said last year that the Browns had the best of any of the units, offense, defense, special teams. He said the Browns had the best.
We won the Mike Tomlin Super Bowl.
So they had the best unit in the entire division. Well, you've lost 2 of your biggest assets, which was Jim Schwartz, your defensive coordinator, and Myles Garrett, your transcended superstar defensive player.
And you're arguing with the wrong guy.
And so what I'm asking is, what do you guys think this team is going to be without those 2 elements?
Not very good. Nobody's saying, except for Booger McFarland in the afternoon show, that they're going to be a surprise this year. I can hope all I want, but I'm not saying that. So who are you yelling at here?
So I'm asking,
you're
telling me the leadership means more to this team.
To this group, yeah, they tried to build the culture. Because the Philadelphia Eagles, the Philadelphia Eagles never had Myles Garrett. I know they wanted him, but they never had Myles Garrett, and they won 2 Super Bowls with the guys that they had.
Kenny, they might have more leadership. But if they have that quarterback play that we think they might be getting this year, and they don't have Jim Schwartz, and they don't have Myles Garrett, they could be a 3-win football team.
Did the Seattle Seahawks have Myles Garrett
getting you?
Did the Seahawks have Myles Garrett this last year?
They did not.
Okay. Did the Philadelphia Eagles before them have Myles Garrett? No. Had the Patriots ever had Myles Garrett?
He's not been.
Okay, I'm just making sure. Teams win Super Bowls without Myles Garrett.
Ken, who's always the pinnacle of saying, "Hey, got to have good football players to win." Well, they just got rid of the best football players to win.
I'm not making an argument for 22 Scott Sullivans on the team.
He's okay
I'm
with
making an argument to say
good football players.
So Jared Verse isn't a good player.
He's good.
Jared Verse isn't good.
He is not a transcendent player.
Lyman thinks Jared Verse ain't good.
So Ken doesn't want the transcendent football players. He just wants the good football players.
We had the transcendent player, and we won 8 games in 2 years with the transcendent player.
So I'm still wondering how this formula works, that they're going to win more football games.
I'm sorry. I guess I'm going to have to call Jonathan in from Solon. No, excuse me, North Solon. We want to make sure that I didn't know there was a difference, but according to Jonathan, there is. So we have to call Jonathan in from North Solon, and he's going to have to argue with it, because I'm not the one saying they're going to win 10 games this year. For the love of God. You're having an argument with me, and I'm saying 6 wins. Didn't say 10. Never came out of my mouth. Booger McFarland says they're going to be the surprise, and that Deshaun Watson is going to be one of the top 5 QBs.
Do you think their defense is going to be top 5 this year?
Their what?
Is their defense going to be top 5 this year?
No.
Top 10?
There's a possibility, yes. But I'm a little bit nervous because of the depth.
If they're not a top 10 defense this year, they're going to win like 3 games.
Well, see you at the draft. Because that's the way a lot of people are seeing it.
Maybe people are okay with that.
I think a lot of people are actually I don't think they're okay with it. I just think they're ready for the reality of what this season is going to bring. I got 5 new offensive linemen. I got 1 I'm really excited about. That's Spencer Fano. Okay, he's a first-round pick. I got nothing outside of the 3 guys that we always mention in the secondary now. That's a playoff team. Okay.
Some good tweets coming in. Charles, and brought to you by Scheiben Jewelers, Cleveland's premier jewelry store. Charles says, how good of a leader on the field and off the field will Verse be once this team starts losing?
That's
Easy to be a good leader now.
And tell Charles that's going to be a hell of a test by him. because he is going to be tested. I would hope his time at UAlbany and Florida State prepared him a little bit. He went to the NFL. He went to a team that already has leaders in the Los Angeles Rams. Hopefully, he's able to do it because they are going to reach a part where they're going to have to get in the foxhole, and he's going to have to be the one to lead them. So, yes, as of right now, this is all time sensitive. That's a great tweet by Charles. Totally 100% with him. The tough part has not started yet.